I used to call it the budget king, and I was facing more challengers than ever. Redmi just renewed their most successful, sporty, GPS-equipped kind of smartwatch, and today I'm telling you exactly how good or how disappointing this new generation really is. Let's inspect. Hi, I'm Michael, great to have you here, and today I'm testing one of the most affordable, good-looking and software-capable smartwatches of 2026, the Redmi Watch 6. It stays in the sub-$100 space, promises to keep up with the Redmi Watch line's good tradition, namely matching almost everything that other, let's call them RTOS-based watches do, at a significantly better value. So, should you buy one? Is it a worthy upgrade over its predecessor? And how does it compare to its closest rivals? Let's go for the answers. Health tracking is the first big topic to unpack. The Redmi Watch 6 reads almost every metric you would expect from an Apple Watch, a Garmin Fenix, a Whoop, or even a Mi Band. The real question isn't whether it tracks these things, it's how deep and how accurate that tracking actually is. Heart rate monitoring is solid, rather accurate in my testing. HRV, though, isn't something you can pull up anywhere in the app, and that's a real miss. It's an odd omission too, since Xiaomi's own Band 10 Pro already surfaces HRV data. Redmi is supposed to be the more feature-rich, premium sibling here, so seeing this gap is surprising. HRV usually feeds straight into the sleep algorithms, so there's a chance it shows up in a future firmware update, or it might just stay missing. I was ready to criticize the sleep tracking hard. Long story short, I sometimes struggle with sleeping, and since I wear a watch to bed, I often catch the exact time during those short wakes up at night. So I was about to call the Redmi Watch 6 very unreliable, and I know for a fact I woke up that night. But first, look at the graph. 0 minutes of awake time according to the Redmi. Very similar look with the Fitbit Air graph. Now, compare that to the Garmin Fenix 8, which got it a little better. I was awake for a few minutes afterward, then had hard time falling asleep, and most of what followed was supposedly light sleep. So, out of these 5 tracking devices that I wore that night, and I actually do at the moment too, the Redmi Watch 6 is the least accurate, followed closely by Google's Fitbit Air, which also thinks I never woke up. The Garmin Fenix 8 actually surprised me positively by catching at least one of these wake-ups. Then there's the Rincon Generation 3, much closer to the reality, and the Oura Ring 5, which nailed it best. And here's the thing. The top 3 contenders are a lot more expensive, and the Redmi Watch 6 is the cheapest out of the bunch. Still, sleep tracking has never been a strong side on the entire Xiaomi wearable lineup. Apart from that, steps tracking is rather okay, slightly undercounting in my case. You can see the data about the stress levels and blood oxygen saturation, so health tracking is rather okay. Maybe I'm a little disappointed in the lack of HRV and the sleep tracking accuracy. The workouts discussion is next, and traditionally this has been a strong point for Xiaomi's wearables. That holds true here. There's a wide range of sports modes to pick from, though I'll keep questioning Xiaomi's choice to label one of them soccer when most of their global audience calls it football. Tracking itself is okay, unfortunately no GPS involvement, and this is an outdoor activity after all. The heart rate sensor picks up spikes well, and overall the readings aren't far off from a Garmin watch, though not quite as close as the Amazfit Bip 6, which I'm bringing up specifically because it sits at a similar price point. That said, the data presented in the app is good, and GPS accuracy holds up well too, though not flawless. On a few sunny days, locking onto a signal took longer than I would have liked. The design is where the Redmi Watch 6 really shines. The packaging itself is nothing special, just the watch and a charging cable inside, plus these papers. But the watch itself leans hard into Apple Watch styling this year, and I mean that quite literally. The crown has moved up to the top of the case. There's now a second button alongside it. This is where things get a little confusing, at least to me. The crown doubles as a button, acting as your home screen trigger and app launcher. The second button, which in most other brands would be opening the workouts or a shortcut that you can assign yourself, instead opens the quick toggles menu. That's because swiping down shows the notifications. There are no widgets in that swipe gesture at all. It's a layout that felt somewhat counterintuitive to me, or at least not something I truly enjoyed. The complete lack of button customization is also surprising. Still, to wrap up the design conversation, feels great in the hand and on the wrist, even if the display is sitting slightly above the frame, and it will likely pick up scratches over time. The tech inside the watch is quite different from the previous generation. Battery capacity is about the same, the display keeps the same dimensions but gets a higher peak brightness, and there is a new chipset supposedly, though the sensor set is identical to the Watch 5, so the big news is that there's an NFC edition now, which costs about $40 more and requires Xiaomi Pay, which has more limited card support. And before buying the watch, just because of this feature, check whether your bank is even supported. So overall, minimal steps in the right direction, but nothing too significant. What I will show you about the display confirms that. Excellent brightness, lovely colors, and a very smooth 60 Hz refresh rate makes this display pleasure to look at. It does run on the larger side, and since this is the only size in the series, plan accordingly before you buy. And hey, there's a generous library of free watch faces, which I always appreciate. Some of them even come with a matching always-on mode, which is a nice touch, although to be honest, a few of them look a bit odd. The battery life is, as you would expect, great. I easily got it to last up to 10 days, and that's with the always-on display switch on, which is how I use it throughout the testing, plus regular workouts logged. Worth remembering, this video is filmed in the summer, the brightest time of the year for outdoor screen use, so getting that kind of longevity under those conditions is absolutely impressive. Without AOD, this can easily reach up to 20 days. Charging is quick and painless too, taking around 90 minutes for a full top-up. I think you've already seen enough of the software to get the picture, so let me sum it up quickly. The watch runs what Redmi calls HyperOS, which is likely built on RTOS foundation. There is no way to install extra apps, and the features on top of the core experience are fairly limited. Some customization is possible, but even that is restricted in certain areas, and sadly there is no way to respond to notifications from the watch itself. The companion smartphone app is the same one Xiaomi uses across its entire wearable lineup, covers the basics well, and throws in plenty of extras, though it's not as wellness focused as Whoop or Aura or even the Zepp app that powers the Amazfit watches, which brings me to a good moment to recap the drawbacks. The missing HRV data, the limited workout customization, there still is no version with LTE support, the hardware upgrades overall do not move the needle that much, and also the lack of actionable notifications. Bottom line, and I'll give you a verdict from 3 different angles. If you're already a Redmi Watch user with a Generation 5 or 4 or 3, unless you desperately need one of the new features, put your money towards something else. If you're a true Xiaomi or Redmi fan who wants the new Mi Hub feature and the latest and greatest, I think the budget-friendly price should be motivational enough. And if you just want a good-looking smartwatch that feels like an Apple Watch, covers most of what you need, has GPS included, and is still great value for the money, that's a good choice actually. Is there something better? I think the Amazfit Bip 6 is a lot more accurate, and the Huawei Watch Fit 5 often goes on discount, feels more premium, and also is more accurate. So those are your solid alternatives. I'd love to hear your take in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching my review. Stay fit, take good care, and I, Michael the TechMishka, gonna see you soon. Bye.